So we are on 4-7. If yours got cut off, I don't think it did though. 4-7 is transformations of quadratic graphs. So let's go back a bit. A while ago, we graphed something like this, right? It was already in vertex form for us. We said, where's this move? Up 4. Where's that move? Right 1, da-da-da, right? We covered that a long time ago. Remember, we moved them, we flipped them, all that kind of stuff. So today, we're still going to use those tricks, but we have to put it in vertex form on our own. So that's what yesterday did. It helped us get ready for today, okay? So, vertex form, y equals a x minus h squared plus k, where h comma k is your vertex. X equals h is your axis of symmetry. If you've forgotten, our parent graph of y equals x squared looks like this, and that's the one that we're moving every time. All of this is super fancy. It's super mathy. So what we did before today was we had y equals negative a x minus h squared plus k. What's the k do? Up or down, same as the sign, right? This is, again, old, right? What's the h do? Left or right, opposite of the sign. Excellent. What's the a do? Anybody remember? No, that's what the negative does. This is the fat or skinny part. Okay? The negative in front is your flip over what? X-axis. Very good. This is stuff we've done before. It's just been a while. Okay? So that says what all this says. Okay? Number 9 says, write each function in vertex form. That's literally what we just did yesterday. Okay? So I want you guys to try number 9. Put it in vertex form for me. So you have to remember the steps. What was step 1 from yesterday? Get it equal to 0 or equal to y, either way. And then group the x's. And then check for what in the front of the x square? A 1 on the x square, right? And then take half of b squared. And then factor. Okay? Try it. I bet you remember it better than you think you did. I'll do it for you too in a second, but I want you to try first. If you get stuck, look up and I'll start doing it. So again, get y alone. Okay, it is. Make sure it's in descending order. It is. Group the x's. Make sure it's a 1 in front. And then actually complete the square, half of b squared and all that stuff. Okay, I'll come back to this page if you need it, but I'm going to write on a new sheet so it's easier to see. All right, so we do this, right? What is half of b squared? 9. Anybody not understand that that's 9? Are you sure? So now I have to take it back out, right? If I put it in, I got to take it out. Well, how's that factor? X minus 3 squared. And what's 3 minus 9? Minus 6. That's all they wanted us to do, is what we did yesterday. Put it in vertex form, period. That was it. Ask me a question if you don't get that still. Are you sure? That's all they asked us to do, but I'm going to ask you, what would the vertex be? 3, negative 6. How would this open? Up. So would that be a max or a min? A min. They didn't ask you that, but I am. Anybody confused? Uh-huh. You're saying how did I go from here to here? No. Oh, here. Yeah. So if I put, if I do this right above it, y equals x minus 3 squared minus 6. Your vertex, if you go back to your notes, says h comma k, right? So this literally is k. It's negative 6. Do you see how it's in that spot? This minus sign is already taken care of, so h is just 3. There's multiple ways to think of it, though. You can say, oh, well, that's right 3. Well, that's positive, right? Or you can actually set it equal to 0, and that's 3 as well. There's whatever makes sense to you. Take the opposite, basically, is what you're doing. Okay? All right, let's try the next one. Number 17. Y equals negative 4x squared plus 24x minus 15. Okay. What do I do first? What? Oh, yeah, it is. Sorry. Thanks. Everybody good? Okay. We're going to group the x's, right? What do I pull out of it? Negative 4. What do I pull negative 4 out? I want it to be a 1, not a negative 1, right? So what's left over? What's left over? Plus 6x. Do you guys get that? When you pull a negative out, two negatives make a positive, right? This is always a plus blank. Always, always, always. Okay? This is not always a minus blank. I just typically write it that way first, and if I have to change it, I do. Are you guys okay? Okay, what do I do now? Yep, complete the square. Take half of b squared. So what's half of 6? 3 squared? 9. I didn't put 9 in. I put negative 36 in. Do you understand that? I put negative 36 into the problem, so how do I undo that or balance it out? Add 36. Do you understand what I'm saying? Those have to balance each other out. So if you put negative 36 into the problem, you have to add 36 to make it back to what it was before we messed with it. Is that okay? Okay. So now we factor. How's that factor? Square root of this, x, this sign, square root of that, squared. And then what's this give me? Plus 21. Ask me a question. Do you understand that's in vertex form now? What's the vertex if I wanted to know? Negative 3, 21. Are you guys okay? Have I lost you? Where'd I lose you? Okay. Okay. Will this open up or down? Down, because there's a negative in front, right? Okay. All right. We're going to do number 22. It says graph. Do you understand that 22 and 33 are already in vertex form for us? Can you guys tell that? Okay. So on 22, what's our vertex? Yeah. Positive 5, positive 3. 5 comma 3. If that still doesn't make sense to you, ask yourself, okay, where's that move? Up 3. Where's that move? Right, 5. Isn't that the same?
So is that
right?
always going to be the opposite?
Yes. It's always the opposite of here. Okay? So we're going to be more specific than we were yesterday. Yesterday, that was good enough, but today we're going to make it a little bit of a better graph. Okay? So put the vertex in the middle. Okay? Typically, a decent graph, I go like left 2 and I go right 2. Okay? So I'm going to do 3 and 7. That's not a rule. Please don't think that's a rule. Okay? You can do anything you want, anywhere you want. The rule is you have to have the vertex or else it doesn't even make a parabola. It doesn't make sense. You need to have something on the left and something on the right. I try to pick them to be the same amount away from the vertex. Why would I do that? How is that helpful to me? Because they're The same, right? If it's symmetric, shouldn't those answers end up being the same? So didn't I save myself some time? I only have to do math once instead of twice. You totally can if you want to. I don't care. But don't do like 1 away. It's too close. It's hard to see the graph. And don't do like 50 away because that's just really big and not fun. Okay? So I usually pick 2 away from the vertex on either side of it. So if I plug 3 in, order of operations says parentheses come first. What's 3 minus 5? Negative 2 squared plus 3. What should I get for the other one? I should get 7, right? You can take your time and plug it in if you want to, but if you're pretty sure you picked them to be symmetric, then the answers to the y values better be the same. Does that make sense? Okay? We're going to go ahead and graph it. Just do the best you can. So 3, 7, 5, 3. This is really hard to see. That's fine. And 7, 7. Nice smooth curve. It opened up. Was it supposed to? Yeah? Is that a max or a min if I asked you? Min. A min. Good. Ask a question before I move on if you have one. Are you okay? All right. On 33, what's our vertex? 10, negative 10. Is everybody okay with that? Okay. T-table. I put that in the middle. I typically go left 2 and right 2. That's not a rule. It's just what I do. Okay. If you gave me 9 and 11, that's fine. Sometimes it's just a little too close. It's kind of hard to see. It just depends on how the parabola is stretched. So I'll do 8 and 12. Okay. Order of operations. Everybody plug 8 in without me helping you, without a calculator. Try to do it without a calculator. I'm fine if you use a calculator normally, right? But I want you guys to try it without one first. What? You're talking to me? What'd you get for 8? Negative 26. That's what you should get. Ask me a question if you didn't get it and you need me to walk you through it. Are you sure? So you're welcome to use a calculator. I don't care, but I think you'll find that you honestly can do it just as fast in your head as you can on a calculator sometimes. So in case you are stuck, you do parentheses first. 8 minus 10 is negative 2. Exponents come next. Negative 2 squared is 4. Multiplication comes next. 4 times negative 4 is negative 16. And then minus 10 is negative 26. So what should I get here? Negative 26. I'm not going to do it again. Does that make sense? So we're going to graph it the best we can. I'm going to go by 2's. You let me know you went by 2's by putting a 2 in the first spot for both of them. That lets me know that you went by 2's. Obviously, you don't have to do that if you don't want to, but I don't want to go down 26. So 8, negative 26, where am I at? 2, 4, 6, 8, negative 26. 10, negative 10. 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, something like that. And 12, negative 26. This opened down. Smooth curve, not a V. Was it supposed to? So this is a what, max or a min? Max. Ask a question. Yeah, so fraction fat, and this was not a fraction, so skinny. Got skinnier. Or compressed is the fancy way to say it. Anybody still need this side? Okay, let's go to the back. Just 2 more. Write an equation in vertex form for each parabola. Vertex form is y equals a x minus h squared plus k. It's like when we were in algebra, and they said, write an equation in slope-intercept form, write an equation in point-slope form. It's the same thing. So you have to know what it is, okay? I'm going to go back to Algebra 1 for a second. If I said write an equation in slope-intercept form, what's the first thing you would have written down? y equals mx plus b, right? In the end, what are numbers? M and b or x and y when you're done with it? M and b, very good. It'd be like y equals 2x plus 4 or something like that. Do you guys kind of remember that, right? So it's the same rule here. I only want x and y to stay x and y. Everything else needs to change to a number. So you're not done until all you have left with variables is an x and a y. Okay? Everything else needs to be substituted somehow. So the first thing I do is I write the formula. Ax minus h squared plus k. All right? When I'm done, A, H, and K all need to have a number. The vertex is 5, 4. Give 5 a letter. H. Give 4 a letter. K. That's what we talked about before, right? The vertex is H comma K. So I'm going to plug those in. Y equals A, x minus 5 squared plus 4. People tend to get confused here, okay? So take 2 seconds. If I were just to have given you this, what would you have said my vertex was? 5, 4, is that right? Okay, so until you're pretty confident that you did it right, you might want to just check real quick before you finish. So I've used that information. What else needs to be a number? A. What did they give me, though? They gave me an x and a y, just like in Algebra 1. Do you see what I'm saying? So can't I plug those in and then find A, right? So y is 1. I don't know A. X is 6. I'm going to make you try to solve for A. Try it without a calculator, okay? Take your time, follow PEMDAS. See what you get. Lean to a neighbor, see if they get the same. Does anybody know what time this class is over today? I have it in my email, but I don't want to put email up. 1 what? 34. What time is it? Oh, okay, we're going to get this done. What'd you guys get for A? -3 is what you're supposed to get. Here's how. 1 equals, that's still an A. Order of operations says PEMDAS says parentheses come first. 6 minus 5 is 1. What comes after parentheses? Exponents. 1 squared is 1. So I have 1 equals A plus 4. So what's A? There you go. Is that okay? So our final answer is y equals -3 x minus 5 squared plus 4. The only thing that was left was the x and the y. Did you guys get that? Okay. Last question. Write each function in vertex form, then identify the vertex, the axis of symmetry, and the direction of the opening. We've been doing that the whole time. We didn't do the AOS yet, but we've been doing all the other stuff the whole time. So again, let's get it in vertex form. What do I need to do first? Get y by itself. So subtract 2. Good. Now what? Group the x's. Now what? Make x squared, the coefficient on x squared a 1. What is it right now? 3. So pull out a 3. What's left over? X squared minus 4 over 3x. Always a plus blank and sometimes a minus blank. Are you guys okay with that? Okay. Don't tell me numbers. I want to know what I do next. What step comes next? Half of b squared, right? So now you can use a calculator if you want to. Take 4/3, half of that, squared. You can do this in your head, by the way, but that's okay. Huh? Yeah, 4/9. Everybody get 4 over 9? Is that what we really put in? No, what we really put in. Whatever 3 times 4 over 9 is, which you can again do in your head. Hey guys, watch this. 4/3. 1 1/3. What? Okay. What do I do now? It's the math F word that you're allowed to say. Factor. Good. So how's that factor? So square root of that. Sine. Don't use a calculator. What's the square root of 4? 2. Square root of 9. 3 minus 3 1/3. I said square root, not square. Square root of 4 is 2. Is that in vertex form? Yes. Okay, that's what they wanted. Then they said, identify the vertex. What's the vertex? 2/3, negative 3 1/3. Okay, we'll come back to the axis of symmetry in a second. And direction of the opening. How is this going to open? Up. Everybody okay with that? Why does it open up? Because in the very, 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 very front, it's a plus sign, a positive. Right? AOS. When we first learned how to graph, what did we say the formula for the AOS was? X equals negative b over 2a, right? What did that help us find when we were graphing? The x of the vertex. So what's my AOS? 2/3, right? It's the x of the vertex. But it's always x equals. The axis of symmetry is a line. So you need to have x equals. Don't just give me 2/3. Do you guys understand that? Okay? Ask me a question. Are you sure? Yeah, okay.